Hi, welcome to the Restaurant Show. I'm Justin Riley, your host. I hope you stick around today because we've got a great show with some great local food. If you're an avid viewer of Wisconsin Family, one of our other local shows, you'll recognize Robinia Courtyard. It's a family of restaurants that includes Julep, Black Locust Cafe, and Barolo. We'll be joined by Chef Nicholas Johnson and John Reski. They're going to talk about some exciting things happening at Robinia Courtyard. Plus, our friend Emily is going to check in with Rob from Alitos Hot Sauce, and Rob Lewis is going to join us and talk about some dessert wines and some fantastic desserts over at Lewis Station Winery in Lake Mills. It's all coming up right here on the Restaurant Show, where we stop by the best restaurants in town so you can skip the rest and enjoy the best. We'll tell you where to go right here on the Restaurant Show. Welcome back to the Restaurant Show. You can see by the smile on my face that Lewis Station now joins us, and I'm joined now by Rob Lewis and somebody who doesn't look like Jason Dunn. Who are you? No, I'm just kidding. This is Jason's wife, Beth. It's so good to have you on the Restaurant Show.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome. Awesome. So, Rob, we're going to be talking about desserts today.
Yes, we are.
Which gets me a little titillated, if I may say that. You've got a new wine that you're releasing called One Oak Tree. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
You got it. So as you can see with the lineup in front of you, we've got 4 dessert wines. The newest dessert wine to the menu would be One Oak Tree.
Okay.
So One Oak Tree is a true port wine. So this is a wine that I worked with a vintner in California for the grapes, and then we aged it with brandy. Oh. And it is spectacular.
Okay.
So, and what's unique about the name, the One Oak Tree, is that all of the oak barrel that was used came from one individual oak tree.
Thus the name.
That
makes sense. That makes sense. So these are brandy barrels that you
that's right.
aged it in these brandy barrels.
That's right. So, well, not only was it a brandy barrel, it was actually, I infused brandy in it.
Oh, wow, okay.
So this is actually, so if you want to try it.
I would love to try it, okay.
So the other wines that we have are port-style wines, so they're wines that are made in the port-style fashion. However, this one would be a true authentic port. Similar to the wines from Portugal, where they actually use brandy to help solidify and stabilize the wine for shipment. This is a true dessert wine. It's pretty delicious.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. This was not going to leave my hand for a while, so.
Well, you have a few more wines to try.
Okay,
so this,
all right.
This is the One Oak Tree. The other one that I'm really excited about is, so this is our Knickerbocker ice wine. Okay. Now, the Knickerbocker ice wine, here we go. We'll swap it around. I'll let you try the Knickerbocker ice wine. You can see it's got a nice, beautiful color, so it's not dark like some of the port wines. Okay. That Knickerbocker ice wine is a Cabernet Franc grape. Okay. Now, Cabernet Franc is traditionally in Bordeaux, so that's where that grape variety comes from. Although this Cab Franc comes from British Columbia. So there's a vineyard outside of British Columbia that makes this Cab Franc, and it's an ice wine, so it's a true ice wine, meaning the grapes freeze on the vine. Okay. Once the grapes freeze on the vine, they bring the grapes down and they crush it. And because it freezes, it concentrates the sugar inside the grape, which also gives it a higher Brix or higher sugar level, which means higher alcohol content, which you could probably feel that delicate warming that goes down your throat as you try this.
It's so delicious, I don't even notice, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like nice it's got these raspberry tones. It's actually really delicious. Yeah. This wine's going to be released, we release it the first weekend in February in Lake Mills at the Knickerbocker Ice Festival. Okay. So we have our own festival around Knickerbocker, and we include this Knickerbocker ice wine.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I don't know, I want to try these too, but maybe you can just give us the quick ABC 1, 2, 3 of these, because I want to make sure Beth has a chance to give us some dessert.
We got to go through these delicious desserts. Wait till you see what she's got for you today. So this one right here is called Matrimonia. Matrimonia is a blend of 2 of my favorite things, port-style wine and coffee.
Ooh.
So I made this as a breakfast wine. No, just kidding. It's not really a breakfast wine. But, well, it could, for me, maybe it could be. But anyway, so this is like that after an end of the meal, and if you're going to have like an espresso, but you'd like to have a port, this kind of does both. So it's a nice port-style wine with whole Guatemalan coffee beans, and it extracts all the oils, and it's just absolutely delicious. And this one is probably one of the favorites at the winery. It's called Chocolate Cerise. It is a port-style wine aged with chocolate.
Ooh.
So it tastes like a chocolate covered strawberry.
All kinds of varieties of wine to try at Lewis Station. And Beth, what have you got for us for dessert today?
Well, desserts at Lewis Station Winery change. We don't have the same dessert week to week. It all kind of depends. On Wednesdays we have our wine and tapas, and I make 3 desserts for that, and so that kind of carries over into the rest of the week. So, but one dessert that we always have at Lewis Station Winery is our wine fudge. I make it on site. It's reducing Lewis Station wine with sassy cow cream, adding sugar, vanilla, Belgian chocolate, and butter, and the wine and the cream are reduced with Vietnamese cinnamon.
I've had some of this.
You've had it?
It's to kill for.
So, our wine fudge.
All right.
Now, if you have that with a sip of any one of those, it'll be absolutely to die for. But the wine fudge we always have, and it is for sale in our coolers. But then I have all the other desserts that we make during the week, and during the week I have a dessert sampler that I serve, and that is an assortment of the different desserts we have. Typically in a week I will make something chocolate. I'll usually have a chocolate cake or a brownie. This one happens to be a chocolate peppermint candy. I'll have another cake that's either nutty or some other cake. That is a Kentucky bourbon butter cake. I have blueberry cheesecake bars. I always try to have something fruity. Then I serve drunk berries with pound cake.
Ooh.
And those berries are soaked in Lewis Station Winery Grist Mill Red.
Okay. That sounds good.
Not only do we have the wine fudge that we have all the time, but I have also made some traditional fudge.
Okay.
And that, instead of getting made with your grocery variety chocolate chips that we all make fudge at home with, I make it with our Belgian chocolate. And the Belgian chocolate that we use is a very high quality. It's called Callebaut, and it's got a 54% cacao content. But anyway, it's phenomenal chocolate.
Okay.
So our dessert sampler looks something like that. Now, like I said, it changes from week to week depending on what the whim is on my part for making desserts. But it's enough to share, typically for 2 people or more, and it comes out, however presentation with the different desserts.
Wow, I feel just so taken care of right now. I can't describe it any other way. This is fantastic. And so I can order this for myself, and then what does my fiance or my wife get then?
You can order one for her
Oh,
too.
they can get their own. We
can get your own. You don't have to share, or you can share. Any of the desserts are usually available as a single also. You don't have to order the whole dessert sample.
Okay, well that's good to know.
But you come on Wednesday nights and it's all part of the wine and tapas.
We are out of time already. I can't believe it.
Goodness.
We didn't hardly get to anything. You talked, I think, about most of what we needed to talk about.
Sure did. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Rob Lewis
Awesome, thank you.
Beth Dunn, so good to have you with us today. Lewis Station Winery is out in downtown Lake Mills. You gotta head down there. Don't go away, there's more Restaurant Show coming up after the break. Coming up next on the Restaurant Show, Emily Ruzicka checks in with Rob from Alitos Hot Sauce.
Hello folks, and welcome back to the Restaurant Show. Happy holidays to all of you out there. We are so happy and excited to have Mr. Robert Grether back with us today. Welcome, Robert, from Alitos Hot Sauces and Spicy Foods. How are you today, Rob?
I'm doing great.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us today for the Restaurant Show. What are we making today, sir?
So today we're going to be making a spicy spinach and artichoke dip. Great thing to use for the holidays. Lots of dips, lots of snacks. We've got some other ideas maybe we'll talk about while we're going through making this dish, but hot sauce is a great addition to most of your holiday snacks and treats and that sort of thing. So
yes, you can zip up your holidays with some Alitos, right?
That's correct, I believe.
If people haven't seen what Rob's done on the Restaurant Show before, he owns a hot sauce company, makes different kinds of spicy foods and all different kinds of hot sauces that you'll see in the front here for everyone's palate. He's done a lot of making traditional dishes spicy. So here's another one, spinach and artichoke dip. with some Alitos. So what are we doing here first?
Well, so, you know, I was just kind of keeping myself busy while we're getting started. We've got a pan here, and we're going to be actually cooking it while we go. We're going to be taking all the ingredients, throwing it in. You can actually bake it as well if you'd like, but for our purposes and for the time frame we have, we can get this all done in about 5 minutes. It's the kind of thing you can present into like a bread bowl, and you know, and put it. Might turn that up a little too hot, but it'll cool down in a second here. So we just start with some sour cream. We're going to add it right into there. We've got some spinach. This is actually just regular old frozen spinach.
Could you use a different kind of, if you didn't want to use regular frozen spinach, could you do like a fresh spinach on that, or is it?
You could, and the fresh spinach would work better if you were going to be doing a baked dish.
Oh, okay, sure.
That way it gets softer. I am using some green onions here to also get started. The green onions could also be interchanged with regular onion, you know, just regular white onion. Or yellow onion, I guess is what you'd probably call it.
There's also a red onion.
There's also red onion.
Don't forget that one.
Well, red onion I think might be a little bit too strong flavored.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I would probably shy away from it, even in a baked dish.
Okay.
So, you know, with the onion, because you're using more, you know, a little bit of a quicker version, we're going to use the green onion because it's just not quite as strong. You know, yellow onion, white onion, red onion tend to be a little bit more strong flavored than unless you cook them.
Okay.
They end up being a little bit more than you might want for flavor.
Okay, so we want the spinach to be the main flavor as well as the artichoke. So if the onion takes over, then we lose some of that. I think
that's
what
what I believe to be true.
Okay, what do we have here? What's our next addition to our dish?
So we're just going to dump some cream cheese in. We've already got about 8 ounces. I got a 16-ounce thing of sour cream, so I used about half of it.
Okay. Again, very specific measurements here with the restaurant show and Alitos, always.
You know, it's one of those things that...
Don't do this at home. I mean, do this at home.
That's exactly
That's
it.
why.
I want to make this user-friendly. I want people to feel like, yeah, you know what, even if your measurements aren't exact, you can always do it to taste. That's something I think you've acknowledged. I always reference, you know, the spice levels. With this dish here in particular, we could use any one of our different hot sauces. You know, we've got red honey, green owl, this is the mild jalapeno. We've got the Caribbean curry, which is the undertow. We've also got the green fire, which is just a spicier version. Bourbon yarrow, and then bourbon raisin sweet potato, and then sweet heat, which is a candied jalapeno. We really could use any of these in here. I decided that I'm going to use, that was splashy. I'm gonna use the red honey because I just feel like with this being kind of a green and white based dip, we're gonna want a little bit of just different color.
Well, and you know, holiday time. If you can make it look decorative, then you get extra points on the restaurant show.
Exactly.
So we have some red pepper now. And how much of the cream cheese did you add? It looked like a whole block of cream cheese
just
almost?
About, yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna let this cook down or melt down so before I start adding anything more.
Okay. So you have that at a high temperature there or medium?
Looks like it's about medium.
Medium temperature, okay.
Again, you know, our time constraints here kind of kick us into overdrive a little bit. We, you know, like I said, you could slow things down and put it in the oven, or you could ultimately, you know, just slow the whole process down a little bit by slow simmering it. But
now, if it went in the oven, would it be like more like a bake? Would it have like a top, like a baked top, like sometimes you see sauces have, or dips, I'm sorry, have?
Yeah, and I think what you would be doing is you'd also be, you know, we're going to add some Parmesan.
Okay.
And, you know, with that, you would probably put some on the top, and then you'd actually bake it on so that you'd have a nice little crusty layer.
Okay.
We're also going to add some artichokes.
Hence the spinach and artichoke part of the dip.
The
artichokes, there we go.
Yep. And
artichokes you can just purchase from the store. It looks like in a can here that is pretty user-friendly for purposes of mincing them up and making a bit of a dip. Well, I'm going to guess that your knife skills are pretty good at cutting up a lot of hot peppers. So.
Huh? Yeah, no, they are.
They are. So what's a good
the kids love that one.
point of reference if you're working with peppers, making hot sauce, or just using peppers for any reason? What's a good thing to do that might save yourself from getting some spicy fumes and things like that on your fingers, and then
well, you want to wear gloves, especially if you're using
That's
peppers.
what I was looking for.
I'm not actually doing much with peppers. That bell peppers are pretty innocuous.
But at the start of the making of the Dash Alitos, if you're starting something from scratch, you want to do some gloves, and don't put your finger in your eye.
Exactly. I have a tendency to do that just in general.
Heard that. I heard that about you. Yeah. That's why we have paper towels. It's okay.
This is gonna continue to cook down. We don't have much time here, but you can see how a little bit more cream cheese, a little more cheese in general.
It looks very nice.
It's a pretty nice. I don't know if we have a camera that we're
May I
looking at.
take a little
Sure,
trial on
please.
this? All right, let's give it a try here. Spinach and artichoke dip with red honey Dash Alitos. Here we go. That's excellent. That's excellent. As many of you may have parties coming up, holidays, festivities, this is a great dip to have. It's got a lot of extra zip. You could maybe even decorate it with a little red sauce on the top to really bring out the flavor and also bring out the color for the holidays, and a bread bowl even. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us on the Restaurant Show. Always a pleasure. And thank you. Please join us from our Restaurant Show after the break.
Coming up next on the Restaurant Show, Chef Nick Johnson and John Reske from the Robinia Courtyard family of restaurants. Welcome back to the Restaurant Show. I'm joined now by John Reske and Chef Nick Johnson from the Robinia Courtyard family of restaurants. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you on the Restaurant Show. We've been seeing a lot of you on Wisconsin Family lately, and it's good to see this change of scenery here. So you guys are going to be making something that is unique to the Black Locust Cafe, which is part of the family of restaurants. So, Chef, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be making
What we're
today?
going to be making is, it's called a jambing.
Okay.
It's kind of like a street-inspired crepe sandwich from China.
Okay.
And it consists of a crepe, and then you put like some eggs, some chilies, some black bean paste, scallions, and cilantro, and then the real interesting part is that it's fried wontons in the middle of it. So
Okay, well let's get started with that. And this is what is this made out of? What is this material made out of here?
I would say it's probably cast iron. I'm not.
Well,
positive.
no, this part.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The crepe. So it's eggs, milk, flour.
Okay.
But traditionally in China they use a mung bean flour, which helps bind it better.
Okay.
We just have their standard,
Sure.
regular AP flour, because we use these also for other sweet and savory crepes at the restaurant.
All right.
All right. So the first step is when you have your crepe on, is you just put. This is just regular eggs mixed up, no milk.
All right.
And you let this cook on top of the crepe.
Oh.
And so when they do it in China in the street,
Out in the streets, yeah.
they do the crepe and then just crack an egg on top of it and then spread it around.
Oh wow. Okay. They literally just do that. Okay. And what is that supposed to do? The cooking of the egg on top.
It actually just you get more of it.
Okay.
And so it's an even
Sure.
layer.
Okay.
Okay. So and as this egg cooks, we have some sliced scallions.
All right. Oh, we're talking.
And then some cilantro.
Okay. And you can put that on there before the egg is fully cooked then, yes?
Yep.
It looks like, okay.
But the egg does help bind it when you roll it. And this is like a black bean sauce.
Oh, all right.
You can buy this and find this in a regular grocery store. If you can't find the black bean, you can obviously get hoisin sauce.
Okay, hoisin
Okay.
works then.
This is just like a chili sauce.
Okay.
Okay. And so when it's to this point, you have to see how it's getting crispy there.
Sure.
All right. You fold it over
Okay.
the core of the way. And then these are just fried wontons.
Oh, all right.
And that adds like an extra texture.
Sure. Very good, very good. Well, while you're finishing that up there, Chef, I want to talk to my friend John here a little bit and tell us a little bit about, for those of us who have not seen Wisconsin Family yet, you guys on Wisconsin Family, talk to us a little bit about the Robinia Courtyard family of restaurants.
All right, I will. So Black Locust Cafe actually emerged mid-September after a little bit of a renaming event there that lasted a little bit too long, about 6 weeks.
Okay.
But AOK had left, and we had a space to fill up front.
Sure.
And we were trying to come up with a concept that was a little bit more night-loving, a little bit less of a just coffee shop only. And right or wrong, that's kind of how the front space was viewed as by the public for the first year.
Okay.
And so after we opened up, while we were opening up, we were trying to figure out exactly what we wanted on the new menu. We had some home runs from the old menu that we were going to preserve. And I said, we should have crepes on there. You know, there's not enough places that do crepes in town right now. And then Chef said, well, why don't we do, because he's always looking for kind of that that next wave, right? And that's what most good chefs are trying to figure out is trying to beat the market, right? And obviously, you know, be creative at the same time. So we had this Jianbing, which is, you know, just starting to hit the coast right now, east and west coast, and we thought we'd try to incorporate it. It's obviously, you know, it's kind of an inexpensive street food in China, and so why can't we make it an inexpensive offering at the cafe as well to accompany what's already going on in the back. So we've got a nice, vibrant, you know, lower price point space up front, while Barolo and Julep, our sister restaurants, are having a good time in the back. So
okay, that's cool. So sounds like the Black Locust Cafe is sort of the younger brother of the two.
We prefer younger sister.
Younger
actually.
sister.
Not to get too binomial here, but we and Barolo obviously is probably one of the best wine bars in town right now, is with their offerings. Nearly 100 bottles of wine to choose from, always over 10 glasses of wine to choose from, and we've got some really nice priced offerings there. And then Julep's obviously one of, if not the best, southern restaurant in town right now. Everybody's just clamoring for it, so it's really exciting. Yeah.
You can't not like southern food. So there's a real, first of all, I want to make sure that people know that Chef Nick Johnson is the chef for all three of these restaurants. So you all work out of one kitchen, right?
Yes.
One kitchen and then one courtyard as well, when it's a little bit warmer, obviously. So talk to us, John, a little bit about you've talked to us about this on Wisconsin Family, but talk to us a little bit about your vision, like what kind of spurred you to do this, to start this company, and what you see happening in the future.
Well, again, it was all about, it's about making a play, it's about creating an opportunity for people from different walks of life, different price points, different, again, demographics, where they might not normally interact with each other. Again, a public park is the best example, but how do you create an opportunity to do that, but in the private sector, right? So we created a courtyard. We've got 3 different offerings there. Somebody might go to Julep for a nice southern sit-down meal, and somebody else might be just grabbing a glass of wine, and they might bump into each other. In the courtyard, or even in the hallways in between. And then again, you know, we've got the entrepreneurial hub going up right next door too, and you know, so that if you can think about that massive exchange of ideas going on next door, and that it's all going to be swirling around and hopefully happening in the courtyard as well. So we're very excited to just play that small, tiny role in the development of the Cap East District, and again, all of this.
A lot of good things happening in that Cap East District over on the east side of Madison. So I'm wondering, while we still have just a few seconds left, how do I eat this? Can we plate this up real quick?
Yep. So as we make them in the restaurant, we just serve them very.
Oh, wow, okay, you just cut them like that.
Just cut them in half, and then you can either put them together like that.
Nice.
And you can, on the go.
Okay.
And I'll cut one right here for you.
Right. Yeah, I'll definitely take one of those. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show today and showing us your Jianbing. This is so cool. If you want to try something that's different and new and pretty well affordable, head on down to the Black Locust Cafe over on East Washington Avenue. John Reske and Chef Nick Johnson, thank you so much for joining us. Don't go away. There's more Restaurant Show coming up after the break. Thanks. Thanks so much for joining me here today on The Restaurant Show. I hope that when you're out and about looking for a place to eat or at the local grocery store, you'll consider any one of these fantastic locally owned businesses. That's all the time we have for today on The Restaurant Show. This is Justin Riley reminding you that life is too short to eat average. We'll see you next time.